Greetings, it's Tales from the Jails here, John G. Sutton. Larry's requested that I sing a naughty song. Hey? Why should we all pay our tax? Why should we break our back? We've got to pick a pocket or two, boys. Got to pick a pocket or two, boys. I'm not singing it, you see, because I think that's rather, what shall we say, anti-Semitic. It is, but I mean, at the time that Charles Dickens was writing the book Oliver, from which the film was made, that was a typical stereotypical vision of people who are of the Jewish religion, and I don't believe it whatsoever. I wear not my hat to be amusing. I wear my hat because my wife bought me this hat. She said, "That suits you, you mean bastard." Seriously. Anyway, I'm going to talk today about Charles Bronson, and he's coming up on the 6th. This is next Monday, and say a little prayer for him. He deserves to be here. I mean, he's been entertaining. He's playing to the gallery. He's a theatre act, isn't he now? I mean, gone are the days of the armed robbery, sawn-off shotgun, breaking into post offices, putting people against the wall, battering jailers up and down the landings, fighting. He fought 2 dogs at one time, didn't he? Something crazy like that. But you see, this documentary that's been on television, it isn't showing Charles Bronson in his best light. Charles Salvador, yeah, whatever he wants to call himself, folks. It's depicting him as being a rather, shall we say, strange character, and people would be terrified to have this man living next door. But really, he hasn't attacked members of the public as a general rule. He's attacked figures of authority, and I believe that the reason he took the art teacher hostage was because the art teacher criticised his artwork. Now, I personally, I mean, it's my particular taste, I believe that art is in the eye of the beholder, you know, that you can either like something or you would detest it. You know, I mean, I personally have got no time whatsoever for cubism. And the work of Jackson Pollock, well, I actually wouldn't pay for it. I mean, it's worth millions, the work of Jackson Pollock. But how and why is it worth millions? And as for paintings of tins of baked beans with Andy Warhol, I mean, yeah, he was good at marketing, I give him that, and interpreting a certain feeling in society at the moment. Maybe it was he wrote on the back of the baked bean can. But I wouldn't purchase it, I wouldn't display it on my wall. And if you think, well, all right, you snooty bastard with your souping hat, what would you display on your walls? Right, well, I'm going to show you now. You've asked for this. Yeah, here we go. Let me get my light up here. There we are. Dun, 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 dun. There we are. Oh, there we are. That's it. Some of my... Well, look who's there, yeah. That artwork there contains my personal hair. I sent it to the artist who made that model. And believe it or not, it's supposed to represent me. Doesn't look anything like me, does it? Yeah. There we have Frankenstein and his pet, Wolfer. What have we got over here? Yeah, another wolf, yeah, and a handy. Yeah, and oh, there we are. Yeah. What's that up there? You can see that, yeah, there we go. That's a raptor. And over here, oh yeah, there we are. A clown and Reagan from The Exorcist. Over here, you should see something else on the wall. There we are. So that's the kind of nonsense I hang on my wall, so I'm nobody to actually criticise anybody else, am I? If you want to put a Jackson Pollock on your wall, get on with it, I say. But don't expect me to like it. But anyway, so we're talking about Bronson and his strange predilection for actually engaging figures of authority in battle. I don't believe he's done it for some time now. Whoops, bashed the mic there. Don't believe he's done it, but he's got himself a name for that. Also, he's got another strange idea where he removes all his clothes and runs at the jailers naked. When he had the art teacher in captive with a homemade spear, he stripped himself naked and was threatening him. He also has done this. I believe it was depicted on television, wasn't it? Yeah, which showed about 15 prison officers facing a rather disturbed Charlie when he whipped all his clothes off and went in bollock naked. He has a penchant for that. When he was on top of, I believe it was Broadmoor, stripped all his clothes off and was dancing around bollock naked. And I believe this, I may be wrong, but I believe this, that whilst he was displaying himself in all his glory on top of Broadmoor prison, institution for the completely criminally insane, yeah, he was dancing around stark bollock naked, managed somehow or other in the extreme cold to gain and maintain an erection, which he promptly used to produce some what he termed as vitamins. You know, I believe he ejaculated into his hand, and then it seems a little bit distasteful. I agree. I mean, I wouldn't know myself, but he promptly decided to devour his own ejaculate. But that's Charlie for you. He's just playing to the gallery. But unfortunately, they've allowed this, whoever is advising him, has allowed this to go onto television immediately before his parole hearing on the 6th. I mean, what kind of bad timing is that? And he's been seen being groomed as to how to respond to the parole board, so they're not going to believe him. But what they've got to believe is this. Listen to John here, you parole board people. Charlie's been in 48 years. He hasn't murdered anybody. He hasn't assaulted anybody for 5 years. He has never ever knifed anybody, as far as I know. He's threatened them with a knife. All right, and he's talked about cutting people up with glasses and all that. But believe me, some of these prison officers, like myself, yeah, can be a little bit push people a little bit too far at times. I try my best to avoid it, you know, really, because I'm fully aware that I'm working there. That's my job. I don't want to go home with an extra slice down here. No, so I Billy a little bit careful. But Charlie boy has been playing to the gallery for a long time now. Let's hope everybody on Monday morning, all the people here on Tales from the Jails, around about 8 o'clock in the morning, just say a little prayer for Charlie, and you're talking sense that day, lad. Yeah, keep your clothes on. All right. And now, I still haven't found me bloody ding-dong. And I'm not singing that anti-Semitic song, Gotta Pick a Pocket or Two, because it ain't right. It may have been amusing 50 years ago when it was in Oliver, or 200 years ago when Charles Dickens was writing about it, but today it just seems a little bit against the grain. So, and I've got clients and friends who are rabbis. You know, they wouldn't be amused at that, would they? I was discussing it with one rabbi this morning, actually, before I actually decided to announce that I'm not doing it. And he agreed that it was somewhat stereotypical. Anyway, I'm now going to sing you a song. Ding, 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 ding. You're running for the hills now, folks. Yeah, grab your billy goat gruff and go for it, yeah? Catherine. I'll take you home again, Catherine, to where your heart has ever been. And when the fields are fresh and green, I will take you to your home, Catherine. There we are. And Paula up in Scotland, yeah, by the bonny banks of Loch Lomond. Very beautiful at Loch Lomond. I was up there 20 years ago and my E-type Jag, I had an E-type Jag, went round and it's all bouncy down the thing and it bounced the bloody battery terminals off. I had to get the AA out to fix it. Felt a right fool. Anyway, I'm going to sing you a song now. This has been recorded by multiple, hundreds of people perhaps, but the version I'm going to sing you now is the one by Frank Sinatra. And hoping that I can see it. You know, my eyesight ain't as good as it used to be. This is Blue Moon, and where was I? I was at Manchester City's ground in Manchester watching a boxing match, yeah. And they were playing this because it's Manchester City's tunes, because the Manchester Cities are the Blues, aren't they? Yeah. Here we go. And they were playing this. Blue Moon. You saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. A few bum notes in there. Blue Moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really did care for. And then suddenly you appeared before me, the only one my arms will ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. And then there suddenly appeared before me, the only one my arms will ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone. I've got a billy goat on the moors, and that's where Rotherham and Larry go. There you are. I murdered it at the end, especially for you, Larry, seeing as you couldn't have me singing Gotta Pick a Pocket or Two, because I'm not in that mind. Eh? I got Jimmy the Dodger. Right, okay, well there we are. A little bit of insanity today. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget, Monday morning, 8 o'clock, prayer for our friend who's been entertaining us for 48 years. Strange character. And by the way, I quite like his art. It's strange, it's evocative. It makes me think of all those happy hours I spent in strange ways. There weren't very many, believe me. Tales from the Jails. Don't forget to get my book, folks.